Hi, everyone, and welcome. And I just wanted to connect with all of you and just say hi and see how things are going with you guys. And if you wanted to ask me any questions, you can feel free. You can type it in the chat, and I will, uh, address your questions. And I'll just kind of share a little bit about what I'm doing and how it all works and things like that. Okay. So basically, I know that it's a little difficult for people when there is no live component, but for me, this one really works well because what I really do love doing is I love doing the energetic releases, and I don't enjoy so much the part where I have to go on a live call or something like that. So for me, to do a live call once in a way is great, but to do it for 21 days in a row, it will drive me nuts. Okay. So honestly, I will not do it. So that's the reason why I chose this format. And what I love about this format is that, I can really literally have like a time in a day when I'm doing it every day. But sometimes, it can be a little bit before time, it can be after time. It just, what works for me. Like, for example, the last 2, 3 days have been a little difficult for me physically, and so what I have found is that I'm just sleeping in late. And so you notice that when I send out the notification, I actually send it a little bit late. It's going on a little bit late. And sometimes I also post, sometimes I'll start the process, I'll start the releases and I forget to post it. And sometimes I'll finish it and I'll forget to post it. So it's all okay. But the main thing is that I connect with each and every person who is registered, and I do the energetic releases, and I do it almost for 90 minutes every day. And sometimes it's even longer than 90 minutes. Okay. Now, there are 5 things that I work on every single day. Okay. The first thing is emotional well-being. So what I'm working on is releasing all the emotions of worry and fear and anxiety. And it's not as simple as, oh, you release all that and I feel good. The thing is, how many times do we have all these emotions in a day, like worry, fear, anxiety, anger, irritation, and all of that? So we have it a lot. So we also have a lot of stuff that is stored in our body. And so when you do any kind of release work around that, it's going to also bring up stuff. Okay. So just be with it for a few days and it will start to ease up for you, especially for people who are doing this for the first time. I know the first few days can be a little difficult because it's suddenly a lot of things are getting cleared for you. So that's number one. Number two, I work on is letting go of self-judgment, letting go of self-doubt, self-criticism, self-wrongness. How much are all of us, into all that all the time, right? I'm sure you don't do it, but I know I do it a lot. So I'm working on releasing that so that your default doesn't go to making yourself wrong in a situation, but it actually goes to being an allowance of whatever it is you are choosing or not choosing. Okay. So that's the second thing I work on. The third thing that I work on is money. Okay. So I actually work on a lot of the energies which are causing you to not receive money and which are causing you not to receive infinite possibilities with money. So that's one of the big things, because I realize that that is one of the big energies which is causing a lot of people a lot of anxiety and worry and fear. And so that is one of the big things that I'm also working on. I'm also working on psychic energies. So, there are all these energies of evil eye and curses and all kinds of things. And I don't really want to freak out people. So, I'm not really going to name all the energies, but I do clear all those energies every single day. And especially if you have had some of those energies limiting you and blocking you, what happens when those energies get released is you might have a little bit like a healing crisis, because everything those energies were pushing down, suddenly it's open and it starts to come out for you. So that's why I keep telling you, drink a lot of water. Like every day, there is a reminder to drink water. And I said this in the last group that I did. So if the healing that I'm doing is in the evening or at night, your time, I don't want you to drink too much water, because you will not be able to sleep during the night. You'll have to keep running to the washroom, right? So just be aware. You can drink the water the next day when you are actually awake. Okay. So yes, Renata, I've actually muted everyone. Do you still get that noise? Um, okay, so everyone is muted. So in case you do hear any kind of noise, let me know, okay? Um, the other thing is that I know that things can actually come up for you. So I've given you 5 bonuses, okay? The first 4 bonuses are actually calls that I have done. Now, those calls are really very intense. So do not listen to more than 1 call a day, because remember, I'm working on you guys for 90 minutes every day. And then on top of that, don't listen to more than 1 call a day. Okay. And in case you start to get some intensity or something show up, then stop listening to the call. The only thing that you should listen to is the clear anything audio. So the clear anything, there are 2 versions of it available. The first version is a 1-minute version, and there is another version which is about 11 minutes. Okay, so let me explain to you how you are going to use these. Okay. So for example, if you're feeling tired, for example, okay, so you're going to say all the tiredness that I have, and then listen to the 1-minute version. Okay. If you have pain in your lower back, all the pain in my lower back, listen to the 1-minute version. Okay, got it? So you can, supposing you said all the tiredness that I have, you listen to 1 minute, and then there was something which shifted in your tiredness. Some of it went away, some of it is still there. Then you use other words to describe it. You can say all the remaining tiredness that I have, and then you listen to it again. Okay. Then you might feel that most of it has gone away, but your head is becoming heavy. So you can say all the heaviness in my head that I have, and listen to the 1-minute version. So you understand there's no hard and fast rule of doing it, but you keep using it with what is presenting itself to you. Okay. Then suddenly, if you have stiffness in your neck, so you can say all the stiffness in my neck that I have, and then you release on that, and then you start feeling sleepy, so you can say, everywhere I'm feeling really sleepy, and then you can listen to it. And sometimes, your body is releasing stuff and you really need to sleep, so just honor that and go and sleep. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? So this is how you play the 1-minute audio, and you keep doing it till you've had some sense of relief. And sometimes if you've been doing it for about 10 minutes or so, then just stop it, because it takes anything between 20 minutes to 2 hours for all the the effect to occur, the benefit to occur. So sometimes, especially when you have pain, you are so focusing on the pain that you cannot really make out if anything has shifted or not. So if you do this exercise for maybe 5-10 minutes and then you let it go, after some time you will realize that it has decreased considerably. Okay, so that's how you use it. Sometimes, I've had people who've experienced, I myself experience it sometimes, is, my mouth becomes bitter suddenly, because it's suddenly, all the toxins are getting released. And so, you will feel that bitterness in your mouth. And so you can just drink water and you can let it out. And this process will bring out a lot of toxins and so on. And it will get cleared. So I haven't yet started on the pathogen cleanse. I somehow keep asking and I don't get a yes to doing it. So I actually follow the energy. Okay, so when I do get a yes to doing the pathogen cleanse, I will start the pathogen cleanse and I will do it for as many days as I'm guided to. Like in the last 21 days, I had the guidance to do it for all 21 days. Okay, but this time around, I'm just not getting it to do it, till yet. So I may do it, I may not do it. It's like the group, what everyone, what change everyone is asking for, I just follow the energy in that. Okay, the other thing that I also work on every single day is I work on these energies of procrastination, confusion, clutter and hoarding, being disorganized. So these are huge chunks of energy, and so I work on these every single day. So you might suddenly find that suddenly, you've started this whole thing of cleaning up your house and things like that. Like, just to share my own experience with this, I don't know why I have this little thing, when you get those takeaway containers, I used to hang on to those takeaway containers, and I had collected quite a few of them. And I was like, I should not be collecting and I should be giving them up. But I just couldn't make myself do that. But since I've been doing this particular clearing, I get the takeaway containers and I just throw them out. I don't have any attachment to them anymore. And my house is probably cleaner and more organized than it has ever been in so many years. Like, I think I've cleaned my house in corners which have not seen the light of the day in 2-3 years probably, so it works in different ways for different people. I've had people tell me that they've worked on their website, which they had been putting off all these years. They've accomplished tasks that had been on their to-do list for many years, and they've done it. And overall, what I find is that my level of productivity has gone up so much. Like, I'm getting so much more accomplished these days than ever before. And you are going to notice it too, because this is one of the really big things that I work on. And you know what, I've also sneaked in here, I've also sneaked in a little bit of weight loss and food and stuff like that, so like being aware of the food you're eating and not overeating and things like that. And sometimes it can show up with overeating when you begin with, but after a few days, you will notice that your relationship with food starts to change. Another big thing that I've included is letting go of everything. Just letting go of everything. So like, I release on holding on to everything, and I release on not being able to let go of everything. So what that means is the physical stuff in your life. It also means all the mental, emotional stuff in your life and things like that. So like this thing about throwing those takeaway containers, I just noticed a couple of days ago that I'm just throwing away all those takeaway containers, and probably I'm letting go of so much of my mental and emotional clutter as well. So the reason why I'm talking about all this is now you can start to look in your life and see where all these energies are working for you. Also, let me see what else I'm working on, which I am just kind of, hold on a minute. I've written them down, because one thing that occurs is when I start doing these releases, I kind of just, my mind sometimes just goes blank, Roseanne, I'm not sure what you're asking. Do you clear resistances to any of these? What do you mean by that? Any of what? Just give me a little bit more detail. I'm clearing everywhere you're holding on to these things, and everywhere you're not willing to let go of these things. And the things that if there is confusion, you're looking for clarity. So then I clear on everything within you and outside of you that doesn't allow you to have clarity, if that makes sense. So it's working on a whole different level. Okay, so these are basically the things that I have been working on. I want to also include stuff on relationship. So I haven't yet done that, but I am going to include that. But let me tell you about relationships. So if you've been struggling with some kind of relationship, especially with a person or all that, then you use this particular statement. All the incompletions I have with whoever the person is, and then listen to the 1 minute clear anything. Okay? And you just do it once a day. Do not do it more than that. Okay? Do not do it more than that. So someone was experiencing a lot of issues with relationship. I gave this to her, and then she messaged me after 10 days saying that things are really, really even worse. And then I don't know why, I asked her, so are you doing the incompletions? She said, yes, I'm doing it every time I have thoughts about them. I said, oh, that's why, all this stuff is coming up for you. Okay. You can do it more than once a day with different people. So what I would suggest to you is you write down all your primary relationships, your mother, your father, your siblings, your children, your spouse, your partner, some of the closest people whom you are associated with. Write down the names of everyone, right? And then you can go through that every single day with them. And some days you will not feel like doing it, then don't do it. And then suddenly you might find after doing it for 5-6 days that things just become ease for you. It doesn't bother you anymore, and if they are in close contact with you, your relationship will also change. And then if you have a lot of emotional baggage between the two of you, if you forget to do it for a few days, then some stuff will come up again. So again, start doing it, and it will just ease out immediately. Okay, like I do it with my own family and my own people, and I've seen this is how the whole curve of it works. But this is a really great statement to use along with the clear anything audio. Okay. You can write the sentence, all the incompletions I have with. Now, some people have actually messaged me saying that they have some kind of intensities going on, like maybe emotional, mental, even physical stuff showing up for them. So the first thing I would tell you is that, everything is getting stirred up. Okay. So things are coming to the surface, and you start looking at what change are you asking for, and then look at the stuff that is showing up and ask, is this the change I've been asking for showing up in a different way? Because when you ask to be more courageous, all the areas of your life where you are fearful are going to show up. Those are all the things that will show up for you, and that will tell you, okay, you know what, you want courage, you have to go through fear. Okay. And so when those fearful situations arise, then what are you going to do? You're going to use the clear anything. You can say, okay, all the fear I have of, whatever, all the fear of going in the lift, if you have claustrophobia, and you release on that. And then, you imagine yourself stepping into the lift, and again, you'll have this emotional intensity come up. So all the fear I have when I think about going into the lift, then you listen to that. Then you think about going into the lift, and you will realize that as long as the lift door is open, you're okay. But the moment the lift door closes, you start feeling claustrophobic again. So you can say, all the claustrophobia I have when the lift doors close, and then you release on that. So, like, you will have different layers of it show up. So whatever shows up, just identify what that is and listen to the Clear Anything recording. Like, if you put these Clear Anything recordings on your phone and then you start using it, it's going to work. Galit, yes, it is incompletion. Yes. Okay. I have a serious issue with cold sores. I get them every 2 to 4 weeks. Uh, okay. All right. So, do you have the cold sores right now? I'm going to unmute you for a minute. Oh, you don't have them right now. Okay, then don't work on it. If and when they do show up, you just go all the cold sores that I have and just use the process I have described. See, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just, using the words. It's just saying whatever words and using different ways. Now, the thing with physical things, I want to also say one thing. One thing that is increasing like exponentially for everyone is awareness. Your awareness is going to go through the roof. You're going to be aware of everything. Okay? And so many times a lot of things show up because you are resisting your awareness. Okay? So everything within you and outside of you that is blocking your awareness, that is stopping your awareness, that is creating this resistance to your awareness, let's release on that. Whew, okay. Now, when something physical shows up in your body or any other intensity shows up in your body, start asking, what awareness is this giving me? Okay. And then what you can also say is that, if I were to guess what the awareness was, just write down whatever your guesses are. And want to bet how accurate your guesses will be? 100%, honestly. So just take wild guesses what those awarenesses are. And sometimes those awarenesses are some really weird shit. Okay, I can tell you. One of the ways in which my awareness has really expanded is I've started seeing the energy fields of people. So when I start working with clients, I start seeing energy fields. I start seeing things, and many times I see some pretty weird shit. Okay. So if you were in my head and you saw what I saw, you would think that, I am bound for the mental asylum, honestly. But I know I'm not. I know I'm seeing all those things, okay? So the awareness is really expanding, and the more you fight it, the more it's going to create an imbalance for you. This energy is asking you to be more aware of things. Like, the other day, what happened? Like at night, I'm sitting there after dinner and I'm like, you have to go and brush your teeth. Like, it was so strong, that energy, I was like, oh my God, that's different. I've never experienced anything like that. So I brushed my teeth, and I did it. The same thing happened a couple of days later. I did it again. And then after 2 days, I had a little bit of soreness in my teeth, like that intensity show up in my teeth. And I had this really strong awareness that if I had not brushed my teeth those extra times, I would probably have gotten an infection in my teeth. So literally, this was the energy telling me that, hey, you're going to get this infection. You better go do something about it. You know, that's how your awareness is. And so invite your awareness and be willing to be aware of anything and everything, no matter what that shit looks like. So that's one of the things. Now, I want to talk about asks. Okay. Roseanne, I haven't been able to have clarity about my awareness. When I ask, what am I aware of? I always get a blank. So that's the reason you use, if I were to guess what I'm aware of, then write down all your guesses. Okay, and if you cannot guess, then make up some weird stuff and write down and just do the releases on that. Even that will work. That's just to get your things rolling. And so everywhere you are going to blank about your awareness instead of actually being aware, let's release on that. Yes, Kerry, I will send out the recording of the call. Okay. So, uh, so okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about asks. And please, people, if you've been having some kind of shift suckering, please message me. Please post it on Facebook. You do not know the number of people who write to me and tell me that those little things you post about what shifts people are having, that just makes people so inspired. So whatever has been shifting, even if it's just a teeny tiny little thing, please do send it. And everything I post, I only post from the current group. I don't really post from someone in the previous groups. I try not to. So please, please, please do send me your feedback. Just send it to me personally. I never put anybody's names out there, so you can be as open and vulnerable as you would like to be. Okay. Okay. Oh, yay, your clearings are helping. I've been catching up, organizing clutter, being able to accomplish more household tasks that I hadn't been able to. The confusion is getting better. I've been winning small amounts on the lottery and generally more mentally calm. Yay, good for you. I'm so happy to hear that. Guess what's going in the, what people are saying tomorrow? I've been decluttering. As you can see from behind me, I've gone from 3 rooms to 1 now where I am, and I'm delighted. Feels so much lighter. I totally get it. I totally get it. Okay. So let's talk about asks and what stops you from actualizing your asks. Okay. So say you are asking to have an income of $10,000. Okay. So what stops you from actualizing your asks? Okay. So number one is, what is the upside of getting that ask? So what are the benefits of getting that ask? So please write down this question. What are the benefits of getting this ask? So what are the benefits of having an income of $10,000, for example? And then what is the downside of getting this ask? So what is the disadvantage of getting an income of $10,000 per month? And honestly, you will be able to write down a lot of reasons under both under the benefits, both under the disadvantages. And guess what? Take each one of those and do the 1 minute release on that. So, what is the disadvantage of having an income of $10,000 per month? I'll have to work much more. Okay, so that's something you release on. I will not have so much free time anymore. Release on that. I will not be able to spend so much time with my family. Release on that. It's too much money. What am I going to do with that money? Release on that. Oh, it seems to be too good to be true. Release on that. So you realize these are all just your thoughts, feelings, emotions, points of views. So the whole point why I created this 21 days of energetic releases was, no matter what is going on in your life, what if you could be in this place of balance and equilibrium, right? And so the thing is that, if someone falls sick, so look, don't try to fix them first. Look at what's coming up for you with regards to that. Okay, my son is sick, what am I feeling? Okay, I'm really worried. I'm really worried he's not recovering, and I wonder if it could be COVID, and all the mental stuff that comes up around that. Write all that down. Take each one of those, release on it, and when you do that, what you will realize is that at one point, suddenly you will feel free. You will be free from that. Okay, and you can use it on any situation, no matter what that situation is, right? So when the whole corona situation started, my son was in the UK, and just 2 days before he was to fly home, they canceled his visa and he couldn't fly, and he was there all alone for so many months. And initially when it started, I had so much anxiety, I couldn't sleep at night. And so at that time I was trying to fix things for him, trying to do some pathogen cleanses for him so that he wouldn't get corona, and all kinds of craziness in my head. And then one day I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm trying to fix him instead of fixing myself. Right now I'm the one who's totally out of balance, he's totally happy where he's at. So I sat and wrote down whatever was coming up for me in that situation, and I did these releases, and I was like, I got to a place of calm. And then I was in this WhatsApp group of all parents whose kids were out of the country, and I would see their trauma and drama every day and get triggered. So then I would sit and clear on my trauma and drama, until one day I put that whole group on mute and just didn't look at any of that stuff anymore. So literally, you have to look at what is going on for you and then release on that. Okay. So everywhere I was asking for change and everything is chaos. So what you do is, whatever the chaos is, write down how do you feel about it. Okay, so write down whatever you feel about that chaos. Like, I don't know, give me some examples and then I'll tell you. So once you've written it out, then you just do the release on each and every one of those things, and you will be in a space of freedom, because that's what ultimately anyone is ever asking for. Why are you asking for that better job or that thing or whatever? Because you think that your life is going to be better. It's not going to be better, it's going to be the same, because you will have the same emotions and all the stuff going on. So what you do is that no matter what is going on, I'm going to be free. So if I have anxiety, I'm going to release that anxiety. If I have Penny, I will do some releases on you. Okay. So all the best with your first job interview, and everything within you and outside of you that doesn't allow you to receive that job. Let's release on that. One of the other things that comes up a lot is this whole thing of overwhelm. Like, just, I think 4 or 5 days back, I woke up in the morning and I was so overwhelmed by everything. I was like, oh my God, there are all these people who want me to facilitate them, and everyone is pulling at me, and I can't do this anymore, and blah, blah, blah. I had like an overwhelm meltdown in my head. And then I said, okay, shut up and just sit and do some releases. And that's what I did. I sat and wrote down everything that I was overwhelmed about. And I just, released on everything. And, within the next few hours, everything just cooled down. I had space, and I just, could be okay with that, and I had to do it like the next day. I had a little bit of it show up, but one release and it was done, right? So I mean, really, come on, I have my own meltdowns. Like today I've had some intense anger show up, so I've been angry today, so I released on that anger. I said, oh my god, I don't want to get on the call with all this anger, so I did some releases on myself. So, okay, so sadness, being let down, fear, feeling of being harmed, take each one of those, release on those, okay? Now, when you have a lot of emotional stuff come up, I would also release on, okay, here's the weird woo-woo stuff: demons, entities, spirits, and ghosts. So write that down. All the demons, entities, spirits, and ghosts that I have, release on all that, okay? So sometimes, a lot of this emotional stuff, it is sourced from these energies: demons, entities, spirits, ghosts. I know some of you are really, very woo-woo, but some are not, okay? So, but if if you're not and you're freaking out, it's okay, never mind. Think that it doesn't apply to you. Okay, I have a question, hold on. Okay, never mind. So, so I think, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. So if you guys have any questions, ask me. Listen, honestly, I'm not like, my life is all sorted out and all. Like if you talk to my poor husband and kids, they'll tell you all the angst that they face from me, okay? But what I am really, really, really dedicated to is myself. I'm really committed to myself. And I'm like, you know what? I want to be free. So I'll have my whole emotional drama show up, and then I'll wallow in it for a bit. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, oh, right. I'm being the drama queen here, right? So then I'll release on it. But then, sometimes my poor family has to bear the brunt of all that, right? So, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer. So I will probably maybe do this kind of a call maybe at the end of the 21 days. If I feel guided to in between, I might do it, just like follow my whims, right? So I don't know, somehow I feel I don't like it to commit to doing calls. I just shared with you that I love the healing. I don't necessarily like to get on technology so much. So I might do it once more, or I might, do it at the end of the 21 days. But in any case, I hope you guys will join me. What I do want to do next time around, I want to do a deep healing, and I'm not really going into that right now, because I know that a lot of people are not ready for it, but at the end of 21 days you will be ready for it. So the deep healing that I want to go into is I want to work on, number one, inner child stuff. So all of us have a lot of inner child stuff, the number two, I want to work on wounds and traumas and cyclic memories and all kinds of this real deep stuff. And also, I also want to look at sexual trauma, okay? So the next 21 days is probably going to be a deep healing, so if that is something that you would like, that you're interested in, just let me know. So if I get like enough people who are interested in, I will create that. I've been getting it to do it, but just not thing. I'm going through a divorce. I'm afraid of looking for money to come to me, that I will lose it again. Very abusive ex-husband and have huge fear around it. So what I will suggest to you is do journaling. Okay. So wake up early in the morning, and whatever is in your head, dump it on a paper. Just write down everything on a paper. And I've done it at times when I've been really overwhelmed by stuff, or when I have a lot of emotional intensity around it, I just write down everything. Then what you do is take each sentence that you wrote, and you read that sentence, listen to the 1 minute audio, read the sentence, listen to the 1 minute audio, and go through it like that. And you will, just the fact that you write it down itself will release a lot of charge around it for you. Okay. And then the 1 minute audio will also help. Susan, would you like me to facilitate you? So you'll have to speak. Is that okay? Okay, Susan, just let me know in the comments if you would like me to facilitate you on it. So I'll facilitate you a little bit. You will have an idea of how then you can work on it on your own. Okay, I guess not. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. Hold on. Okay, not sure if audio is working. Hold on a minute. I have to unmute you. So let me see where you are. Oh yeah, I found you. Yeah. Hi, Susan.
How are you?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So tell me right now, what is the biggest thing that's bothering you right now?
Right now is not being able to afford the divorce or to buy out or not having the money to do it.
Sorry, your voice is very faint.
Right. Not having the money to go through the divorce.
Not having the money to go through the divorce. Okay. Okay. So let's release on that. Not having the money to go through the divorce. Let's release on that. Okay. Now, when you think about not having the money to go through the divorce, what comes up for you?
So he won't agree to it. He won't agree to anything. He won't agree to the divorce.
Sorry, I still don't hear you.
He won't agree to anything. He won't agree to divorce me.
Okay, so he won't agree to anything and he won't agree to divorce me. Okay, let's release on that. He won't agree to anything. He won't agree to divorce me. Okay, now what comes up for you?
Just that I will feel trapped and there'll be no closure. I feel there'll be no closure. There'll be no closure.
No closure? Okay, so everything within you and outside of you that stops you from getting closure, let's release on that. Okay, now what comes up for you?
Um, I feel things will be better. Things will
Huh.
be.
Okay, good, good. Do you see the shift? Like 4 releases and you feel the shift, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. What I would tell you to do is this incompletion thing. Do it every day with your husband. All the incompletions I have with him. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you write down, all the abuse that you have experienced with him, write it down,
Okay.
and then release a little bit on that. Don't release on everything. Release like not more than 10 minutes a day because it will bring up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So release a little bit at a time. Okay. Any incidents that you remember, whatever, like be very, very meticulous about it. Like spend about 10 to 15 minutes every single day working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can write down, okay, I'd like to have a divorce. So what is the benefit of having a divorce and what is the disadvantage of having a divorce? And then, all the benefit will be I will be free from him, for example. Then
Yeah.
you can say that everything within me and outside of me that doesn't allow me to be free from him. Okay. And
Yeah.
then disadvantage would be that I will have to earn my own money. Okay. So then you can say that everywhere I'm afraid, all my fear that I will have to earn my own money and I won't be able to earn money, and then you release on that. So just get creative with all this. But if you write the benefit and if you write the disadvantage, I think it will really help you a lot.
Yeah.
And this is for everyone, like whatever you want to change, if you work at it using this, you will get to the core or the root of whatever stops you very, very quickly. And with the clear anything audio, you will be able to release it very quickly.
Great. Thank you.
Now, I'm just going to put this out there. And, I would kind of recommend that during these 21 days, you only be with this energy. Don't bring in other stuff. Like, if you can avoid that, it will work even better for you. But if
Okay.
you're kind of mixing two, three things, it might not work that well. So
Okay.
instead of using any other forms of clearing, just use the clear anything audio. And today I went really in depth with, how to go about it. In the bonuses, there are 2 tracks on toxins. So those you can listen to 1 track a day and listen to it like 2 days in a week and repeat it every week. Okay, so you might release a lot of toxins, but the days you listen to that, please drink a lot of water. Okay,
Okay.
because there's lots of toxins there.
Okay.
There is 1 track on toxic people. So if you've been having a lot of issues with people who have been really abusive to you, then listen to the toxic people. Okay. But
Okay.
again, go slow, like less is more in this case. Okay. So
Mhm.
sometimes it might create more intensity for you than not, so just be aware and listen to it. And then there is one audio on mental mind control. So this is how everything in your reality controls you. Okay. So what you do is that you can listen to that one as well. So these audios are super powerful. I know someone, she who is here, she used these audios and she created a lot of change for herself. So learn to follow your awareness, what your awareness is telling you to do, and just do that.
Okay.
Somebody asked me a question about creating a relationship. Okay. So again, write down what is the benefit of having a relationship, what is the disadvantage of having a relationship. Okay. You can also write down the qualities that you are looking for in the person to have a relationship with. Okay. So if you write down, say, looking for trust and honesty and nurturing and caring, say you've written down those 4 qualities, then what I would do is that ask yourself, Do I trust myself? Do I nurture myself? Do I care for myself? Am I kind to myself? Am I honest with myself? So turn everything inwards. So what happens with relationship is that we are trying to find a person who is going to fill our needs. But the thing is that what if you could fill your own needs? So everything within me and outside of me that stops me from trusting myself, release on that. Everything within me and outside of me that stops me for being kind to myself, release on that. And that's how you go through all those qualities. Once you've worked on yourself, then you can say everything within me and outside of me that stops me from finding a partner who is honest, and then release on it, and so on. So go through all of that. Okay, so it's all of this, you have to work at it, right? But and when you are ready to do that, all of that will show up. All of that will definitely start to shift. And honestly, if you're looking for a partner who is kind, you will have a lot of unkind people actually show up. And you go, oh, I'm asking for kindness, look at all this unkindness which is showing up. Then what you do is that you release on that. Everything within me and outside of me that attracts these unkind people, release on that. So it's like a process. So feel free in the Facebook group to ask me questions. Hey, I'm facing this situation, how do I go about it? What statements do I use? I'll be happy to answer that. Okay, but be creative, right? You can also say, this is what I've been doing for this issue, and like inspire everyone. And for people who've been there in the other programs, I hope you guys know that there is a separate Facebook group for the August 21 days of releases. Okay, so the emails that you got, there is a link to the Facebook group there. I'll also post it in the WhatsApp group. So please, or else just do a Facebook search, and then once you come to the thing, um, once you come to the group, make sure that you put in the email with which you have signed up, because I have this thing of can't remember shit, right? So if you signed up a few days back, I won't remember that you had signed up, right? So I might just not allow you in. Don't want to do that. If you have really, if you are a part of this, so please do put in the email, so I can just take your email, cross check it, and allow you in. Okay, so just make my life a little bit easier. Okay, and if you don't answer the questions, the chances are I won't allow you in, because I'm like, okay, I don't know if they've paid or not, if they've registered or not, and that's the way it is. So I think I've kind of covered all the questions that people could have about this. And, of course, if you have anything, feel free to message me, tag me, and it's always better to actually post it in the Facebook group, so that when I respond, maybe there is someone else who is going through the same thing. And that your question is going to open up the same thing for them. So, just post it in the Facebook group. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I will send out this recording very soon. This recording is in the cloud. Okay, so I'm going to just send you the Zoom link. Please download the recording. I will delete it by next week, and I will just put it in the bonus folder. Okay, so in after that, don't come back to me telling me I want that recording, because it's going to be number one in the bonuses folder, and number two, the same link, just delete it. Download it, because I will delete it by next week. I won't leave it around. Okay, so thanks, everyone. And you will see me posting all these days. And if I do anything more, if I do, decide to do another call, you'll receive an email. Bye.
Thank you.